right, so week 9 picks, 2025 season, and week 8 was sticky to say the least. One Thursday night to start off 1-0, and I immediately followed that up with dropping my next 5 to go to 1-5. Very upset heavy week in week 8. And then I won my last 7 games to finish 8-5. So it's a winning week. It's a good week, but very strange week on top of that. Basically, week 8 was what I was expecting week 7 to be, but it's a winning week. I'll take it, but I just like to have a better week. And week 9 actually does have some favorable matchups. 78-43 on the season. My goal is to get back to a 6. My goal is to get to at least 2/3 of my picks being right, so I'm almost at 66.67%. But yeah, my week 9 picks, and yeah. So starting things off, we got the night before Halloween, and man, oh man, do we get a trick as NFL fans. Toilet bowl of the week. Who'd have thought that I'd be putting the Baltimore Ravens in for a toilet bowl this year? And they're taking on the 2-6 Miami Dolphins. And, you know, I wondered, like, Miami has been in so many toilet bowls this season for me. And you know what it did? It actually prompted me to go back and look at my previous picks that I've done this season and count how many times they've been in one. This is the 4th one this season that I'm including them in. And yeah, like here's a screenshot that I have right now. I counted how many toilet bowls every team I've put in has appeared in. And I think starting next season, I'm going to make it permanent. So yeah, 4th one this year for Miami. This is the first one in a very long time that the Ravens have been involved in. But yeah, anyway, getting on to this game. So Baltimore is 2-5, but they may be on the verge of turning their season around, which I hate to say that as a Steeler fan, but as an unbiased football fan, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it. They got a dominant win over the Chicago Bears, 30-16, a game in which Chicago's offense was red hot going into that game, and they were just completely shut down by the Ravens defense that was towards the bottom in every major defensive stat. So yeah, that has to be a turning point for the Ravens. Now obviously the biggest headline here is that Lamar Jackson is most likely going to play on Thursday night after missing about a month with that hamstring injury. So definitely, if Lamar plays Thursday night, that is a huge confidence booster for the Ravens there. And for Miami, I don't know how they did it, but they just absolutely dominated the Falcons 34-10. Atlanta just makes no sense this year. But yeah, I'll get to the Falcons in a bit. But yeah, Miami, they got the win. Nice win for them, but they're still a terrible team. I think that was just a fluke win for them. So I'm just going to go with the team that I trust a little bit more, and that's the Ravens. You know, Miami, like I said, nice win for them, but they still have a long way to go. I'm taking the Ravens to win this one to make it 2 in a row, get to 3-5 back in this pathetic AFC North. But yeah, I'm taking Baltimore to win. Sunday slate of games, and kicking things off. Wow, we're already in the month of November already this coming Sunday. But yeah, we got the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. This one is down in Houston. The Broncos, a wild 44-24 blowout win over the Cowboys. Denver continues to play well. They're 6-2 on the season. The Texans, all of a sudden, Houston, what looked like to be a lost season for them, have suddenly won, I think, 2 or 3 in a row, and they're right back in it in the AFC. So with this one here, Denver, as I said, they're playing very well football right now. Bo Nix is being very efficient. He's having a really good sophomore season. And really, it's a battle of two young quarterbacks right here, as I may have given C.J. Stroud the bust label a little too early. While, sure, he has improved, he still needs to be a little bit more consistent. That's just something that I want to see out of C.J. Stroud before I can officially call him a top 10 quarterback in the league. But yeah, he's just a little inconsistent so far, but he's not a bust. I think I spoke too soon on that. But yeah, with Houston, still the #1 defense in the league, and going up against the Broncos offense, which definitely is capable of lighting up a scoreboard and putting up some nice yards on the stat sheet. They need to find a little bit more of the rhythm for that, because, like, lately, yeah, they've had nice comeback wins lately, but, like, they can't rely on the late phases of the game to rack up those points, because eventually, you know, teams are going to catch on to that, and then and before you know it, getting them in a deficit where they can't rally against a top defensive unit is going to come back and bite them. And this Houston defense is definitely capable of doing that. So for the Texans, I think Nico Collins definitely needs to step it up in this game, and they need someone to, you know, take the pressure off of C.J. Stroud. And I think if they force Bo Nix to get into 3rd and long situations to where they need to make him be decisive and really quick release the ball, I think the Texans have a great chance of stepping up defensively. For the Broncos, it's a battle of two strong defenses here. Denver's got a great defense too. They got to put the pressure on C.J. Stroud. So this was one of the trickier ones to pick in all actuality. But because I need an upset of the week, I am actually going to go with the Houston Texans. This is my upset of the week right here. I like Houston's defense in this game. They are really starting to play some good football right now. I think they've turned a corner. That blowout win they had over the Ravens a few weeks ago was the catalyst right there, and now they're going up against a really good Broncos team. I don't know. With the way, like I said, the way that Denver's been playing, they need to come back to beat Philly. That was a great win right there. They had that amazing comeback against the New York Giants, but it's the Giants, okay? Not taking anything away, but still, the fact they needed 33 points in the 4th quarter to beat the Giants, kind of alarming right there. They had that great win against the Dallas Cowboys, but now they're going up against the #1 defense in the league. This is my upset of the week right here. I'm taking the Texans to beat the Broncos. Carolina Panthers and the Green Bay Packers. This one is up in Lambeau. Yeah, that's what I get for having faith in Carolina. I picked them to upset Buffalo last week, and they got absolutely wrecked at home by the Bills. Wasn't even funny. Carolina, I mean, yeah, they're way better than what they've been in recent years, but yeah, maybe I gave the Panthers a little too much credit there, and I don't regret my pick, but man, I regret giving Carolina too much credit. You know, that's what I regret. But yeah, their defense definitely is improved, but I don't know. Kind of like how they started out hot in, I think it was 2018, and then they just, whatever happened in their defense down the final phases of that season, and then they, I think they ended up finishing last place in that division in the South that year. I don't know. Maybe they're headed towards that, and going up against the Green Bay Packers, who I don't think Green Bay's offense is elite, but it's definitely a very good offense. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a salty Steeler fan about what happened Sunday night. I've been saying this about Green Bay all season. I wouldn't call their offense elite. It is very good, but it's not elite, okay? But yeah, this Green Bay offense, that's when it's in full stride, and when they're distributing the ball all across, which is what Jordan Love's capable of doing, which apparently Tucker Kraft can get 17 catches and have over 100 yards receiving as a tight end, apparently. Attacking across the middle of the field right here against this Carolina defense. I think that's all the things that the Packers need here. So I'm taking Green Bay to win this game. Get to 6-1-1, I believe. And yeah, Green Bay's defense is definitely going to be the X factor for this game right here. I don't know how Bryce Young is going to be able to step up, and if Carolina's run game can get anything going, because the Steelers were running the ball in the first half against the Packers, and then something I forgot to mention in my recap. Steelers only ran the ball 3 times the entire second half against Green Bay because our idiot head coach was like, oh, the circumstances of the game got away from us and we were behind in the sticks. Yet they were up by 9 points at halftime, and Jaylen Warren had 50 yards running on 10 carries and finished the night with 62 yards on 13 carries. So you divide all that up, he's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Oh, but the circumstances of the game got away from you when you were leading at halftime. See, that's the dumb crap that our head coach says, and everyone just coddles him up because he's never had a losing season. But but you know, that's another video for later. Bottom line, I got Green Bay winning this game. Next, Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. This one is up in Detroit. Season's getting away from Minnesota. They got blown out in LA last Thursday night, 37-10. Vikings officially put Carson Wentz on IR, which is no surprise right there. He really hasn't been the same since he tore his ACL back in 2017 when he was with the Eagles. So this season's getting away from Minnesota. They're 3-4 on the year. I think they've lost like 3 out of their last 4 games. So yeah, not a good look for the Vikings. They don't have an answer at quarterback. Bet Vikings fans wish they didn't dump off Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold right about now, huh? But yeah, that's the life of a Vikings fan. They can just never have nice things. Detroit, they're coming off their bye week. In my opinion, they're looking like my favorites for the Super Bowl. Lions have a great team up there. They're coming off a dominant win a couple Monday nights ago against the Tampa Bay Bucks, 24-9. This Lions team is complete all around. I mean, yeah, they got injuries on defense, but their defense is definitely no joke. And Dan Campbell absolutely has this team just clicking on all cylinders. They have one of the best offenses in the league by far. And taking advantage of this Minnesota defense that, well, the Vikings actually have a strong defense, but taking advantage of this Vikings team that's lacking a quarterback, and when they can't move the chains, when they don't have a competent signal caller, they're going to have no one to throw to with Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Mason's going to have to carry the load. It's just not a recipe for success for Minnesota. Detroit, they got a number 3 offense, as I said, and, you know, yeah, I mean, sure, their secondary is spotty, and they got injuries on defense, but I don't think the Lions have anything to worry about. I'm going to take Detroit to win this game, get to 6-2. Minnesota's slide continues, and I think that would put them in last place if they're not already in last place in the NFC North. So I am taking the Lions to win this one over the Vikings. Next, we got the New England Patriots staying at home to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, I wanted to make a 28-3 joke here, but I resisted the urge. I will never not think about that when these two teams play. So, as I said earlier, Falcons, they make absolutely no sense at all. How do they beat Washington with Jaden Daniels, and then they dominate the Bills on Monday Night Football a few weeks ago, and yet they get shut out by the Carolina Panthers, and then they get destroyed by a terrible Dolphins team? This is why I don't take Atlanta seriously. They are impossible for me to pick. I pick them to win, they lose. I pick against them, they win. I give them credit, they underachieve. I sleep on them, they overachieve. Make it make sense, bro. Like, seriously. But yeah, they're facing the Patriots, who are playing well, but as I keep saying, okay, I don't fully buy New England. I know, they're 6-2, and they've won, I think, 5 in a row, okay? And credit to them. They beat a very good Buffalo Bills team, okay? But that's their only impressive win. Everyone else, sorry, not impressed with their wins, okay? The rest of their wins, Tennessee, New Orleans, Carolina, and Cleveland. Not impressed with those wins, and Miami. Not impressed with those wins. Sorry. Okay? Now, in my opinion, they stay at home to take on another soft team in Atlanta. I'm taking the Pats to keep it rolling, get to 7-2. Yeah. Until I have 100% confidence in Atlanta, I am not going to pick them to win a game. I'm going to take the Patriots to win. Defense is going to step up here. Drake May continues to be very efficient. I think he doesn't have a problem with this Falcons defense. Give me the Pats to win this one. Now we got the Chicago Bears going down to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Bears, as I said at the beginning, they were dominated by the Baltimore Ravens 30-16. That red-hot offense got cooled off in Baltimore, where that doesn't sound like an awful thing, but the Ravens defense, as I said, bottom tier in most major defensive statistics, so that's a head-scratching loss for the Bears right there. There's still time for them to get it turned around. They're still playing okay. They're 4-3, but I think you might want to pump the brakes on the Bears being a playoff team if they're just going to get completely destroyed by a bad defensive team like that. But yeah, and you know, this kind of might be a bad omen too, because remember around this time last year, the Bears were 4-2, exact same record they had going into Baltimore. Last year they went into D.C. to take on Washington, and they had that Hail Mary that shouldn't have happened because Tyreek Stevenson's an idiot, and he foolishly taunted the Washington crowd when he should have been defending the Hail Mary that he could have easily swatted down. Chicago's season fell apart after that, and not to say it's going to happen this year, but I'm just saying, exact same record going into D.C. last year than they had going into Baltimore this year. So don't let that happen again, Chicago. As for the Bengals, dude, you lost to the Jets. How do you blow a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter? Okay, it's not like you blew it in the second quarter where there's still time in the game for the Jets to get back in the game, okay? You were literally beating them by 14 points in the fourth quarter, and you lost. Dude, how does Zach Taylor still have a job? And to make things worse, it was Justin Fields, who they benched last week for Tyrod Taylor. And the Jets were 0-7. Cincinnati is just such a dumpster fire. How the hell did the Steelers lose to the Bengals a few Thursdays ago? Oh, I know, because it's a typical cat and mouse game for Tomlin. But anyway, yeah, Bengals are 3-5. Basically, Cincinnati's got to drop like 50 points on their opponent to win a game. I am fully convinced of that right now. Their defense is abysmal. Like, they statistically have the worst defense in the league. And going up against this Chicago offense, which apparently they can make Joe Flacco look like a competent starter, yeah, I don't think there's a question here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chicago Bears to win this game. We know the weapons the Bears have on offense. We know what Caleb Williams is capable of doing. The question is, does Chicago's defense, which has surprisingly been a letdown for them this year, step up to the range? Because the Bengals actually have a solid offense. It's just that, you know, with Joe Burrow, I think Cincinnati would be better. But Joe Flacco is no slouch of a backup. But yeah, I think this is going to be another high-scoring game. I'm not really an over-under type person, but I would definitely take the over for this game. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Chicago to win this game to get back on track, drop the Bengals to 3-6, and we'll go from there. But I'm taking the Bears to win this game. 49ers and the Giants out in Jersey as 49ers, they dropped a tough one down in Houston. Still playing pretty solid football. I think they're 5-3 on the year, so they're still playing really good despite the mountains of injuries that they've had in the season so far. But yeah, San Francisco still playing well. The Giants, oh, my heart goes out to them. Cam Scatterboo left the game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was revealed that he had dislocated his ankle, which means he is out for the rest of the season. And just, man, The Giants can just never catch a break. Malik Neighbors tears his ACL, done for the season. And now Cam Skattebo, their rookie running back, done for the season. This is what I was afraid of with the Giants, because I gave Cam Skattebo a lot of props after that Philadelphia game a couple weeks ago. And now this happens. That really sucks. Really does. So, just the horrible chain of events for the Giants just continues. Now they have Jackson Dart, which, yeah, Jackson Dart, I think he definitely has a bright future in this league. He has what it takes to be a quality starting quarterback in this league. Does he need to work up on things? Absolutely. He's a rookie. It's going to come in time, but he's got very good instincts as a young rookie quarterback, but he can't do it all on his own right now, especially with having next to nothing now because his run game is gone and his top target's gone now too, so it really sucks, man. San Francisco, very pass-heavy team, but I think they need to get back to what was working best for them, and that's giving CMC the rock, who has ironically been the healthiest guy this year for the 49ers, and we all know the injury history that CMC has had. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the 49ers to win this game. It's just, I would like to pick the Giants if they were fully healthy here to upset them, but without Skattebo, without Neighbors, Dart can't do it on his own. I'm taking San Francisco to win this one. It's just, it sucks for the Giants, man. But, yeah, I'm taking San Francisco. Oh, boy. My matchup next. The 7-1 Indianapolis Colts heading to Pittsburgh to take on the 4-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Unlike previous weeks where I've actually spent time analyzing my matchup, I'm going to make it short and sweet here. I'm making this a 2-for-1 right here. This is both my lock and spread of the week right here. There is no question who's winning this game. Okay? The Colts are red hot offensively. Number one scoring offense in the league. Daniel Jones is a prime candidate. He might be the front runner to win Comeback Player of the Year, possibly even MVP too, with how efficient he's been at passing the ball and how decisive he's been. It just goes to show you what a coaching change can do. He went from Brian Daboll in New York and Pat Shurmur in the early parts of his career to now Shane Steichen, who's an offensive genius, and he really brushed up on Daniel Jones' strength. He's one of the best two-way quarterbacks in the league. And then you got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. He has 850 yards rushing already. And against this trash Steeler defense with a bunch of overpaid, overrated bums that make $178 million, the most expensive defense in the league, mind you, I have no doubt that he can get at least 150 in this game to get 1,000 rushing yards mid-season. I have no doubt that's going to happen. But, you know, according to Mike Tomlin, oh, we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. Yeah, good luck going up against Jonathan Taylor, who is a legitimate MVP candidate, okay? I said, if there is a running back that is to win MVP for the first time since Adrian Peterson did it, it's definitely Jonathan Taylor. This defense is just going to get destroyed by him. It's not even going to be funny. You know, offense can only do so much. Aaron Rodgers can only do so much, okay? And now you just pick up Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's a drop machine, and he's just coming off of IR as well. Oh my god. This is just going to be a bloodbath. Indianapolis in a blowout. Like I said, my lock of the week and my spread of the week. Colts are heavily favored to win this. Well, they're not heavily favored, even though they should be. But yeah, there's no question who's going to win this game. Colts win this game, and they cover easily. I'm going to say 40-20 Indianapolis. And that's me being generous with that score, okay? On a bad day, I could easily say like 50-0. But I'll give the Steelers a little bit of credit and say they get some points on the Colts because Indy, their pass defense is a little sus, but yeah, it's definitely a strong defense they got, you know. And just another note before I close out and go to the next game, okay? Indianapolis, they've played 8 games. 7 of their 8 games, they've scored 30 or more. The Steelers have played 7 games. They've allowed 30 or more in 4 of them. That's the first time that's happened with the Steelers since 2003, which was their last losing season, by the way. And before that, they hadn't done that since the 80s. Indianapolis is going to just... There are not enough expletives for that I have for what the Colts are going to do Sunday. But yeah, let's move on. Chargers and the Titans in Nashville. This is another easy one here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers to win this one. They got 3 days of rest after that dominant win they had against the Vikings. Still got a strong defense. It's just not as strong as it was last year. But yeah, this is by no means a bad Charger defense. With Tennessee, like, you see some flashes in the pan with them at times. And I think that with Cam Ward trying to be a bit more decisive, he still needs a ton of help because he's got nothing on that offensive line. He's got no weapons to work with over there. And with that defense Tennessee has, it can keep him in the game only for so long. But yeah, this Chargers team, they're basically forced to be pass heavy now because that's all they have to work with, and they're crippled on the ground right now with 2 of their running backs gone for the season, I think. But, yeah, I don't think this should be any trouble for LA. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers to win this one easily over Tennessee. Titans are subjectively the worst team in the NFL. They might be the worst team now since the Jets won. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers to win. Later slate of games, we got the Jaguars and the Raiders. This one's out in Vegas. This was a strong candidate for Toilet Bowl of the Week, but I just couldn't resist Ravens Dolphins. But anyway, Jaguars and the Raiders. Both teams are coming off their bye week, so I'll give them that, I think. So, yeah, so, like, I can't say in good nature that one is fully rested over the other because they both had their bye week, but... yeah, and they're both coming off blowout losses, too. The Jaguars got absolutely destroyed by the Rams in London a couple weeks ago. And then the Raiders got shut out by the Chiefs a few weeks ago. So, yeah. Make your pick for this one. But Jacksonville, I will give them a bit more credit for this game. They are playing better than what they've been in recent years, and I still think their coach is a candidate for Coach of the Year, but if they let these games get away from them and they let the season slide some more, it's going to be a tougher case for them. And then the Raiders, they basically live and die by Geno Smith at this point. He's very inconsistent. Like, if the Raiders get good Geno Smith, they might have a chance against Jacksonville. But if the Geno Smith that throws 3 interceptions a game comes up, then it's going to be rough life for Vegas. Feeding Gentry the ball, I think that's going to be huge here, and Jacksonville's defense can step up here against a spotty Geno Smith. Typically in situations, I take the home team because I need to pick someone to win, but I'm going to go with the team that I have a bit more confidence in, and that's the Jaguars here. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jacksonville to win this game just because Vegas, they have really shown me that they are just absolutely going nowhere as far as their franchise goes. It's been like that basically ever since they got blown out in Super Bowl 37, the first year that I watched the first Super Bowl that I ever watched against the Buccaneers. And basically when I was old enough to understand what football was. So I'm taking Jacksonville to win this one. This one was another candidate for Lock of the Week. We got the Saints and the Rams in LA. Short, sweet, to the point, I'm taking LA to win this game. Yeah, I even chose Colts Steelers as my lock over this one. Because with this game, the Rams, I think they're coming off their bye as well. They're fully rested and they're fully healthy. Well, maybe not fully healthy, but they're fully rested going this game as well. And they're coming back home to take on the Saints, who are another candidate for the worst team in the NFL. The Saints, same question that they have mid-season as they have going into this game. Who do they start at quarterback? Because Spencer Rattler left the game there. They're just in shambles. LA's got a very good physical front. They have an improving defense as the weeks go by. The only question I have here is the spread big enough for LA to cover, and does Puka Nacua come back? I don't think it matters because they got Devontae Adams, who's been stepping up. Regardless, I'm taking the Rams to absolutely dog walk the Saints here. It's not even going to be close. I'm going to take LA. Game of the week, undoubtedly, what many people consider to be their AFC Championship game for the second season in a row, and I think for the third time since 2020. We got the red-hot dynasty Kansas City Chiefs at 5-3, who could very well be on a 6-game winning streak if they have one or two things go in their favor against Jacksonville, heading on up to Buffalo to take on the 5-2 Buffalo Bills. So, undoubtedly my game of the week right here. As I said, the Chiefs, they were 0-2, but I said, even when they were 0-2, I am not hitting the panic button with them. At the end of the day, they're off to a slow start, yeah, but remember, this is the Chiefs. This is a team that's won 3 Super Bowls since 2019. This is the current dynasty in the NFL. They're going to be okay, all right? When you get Rashee Rice back in there, pairing him with Xavier Worthy, who've been stepping things up, and knowing the type of defense the Chiefs have, and knowing that they have Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be okay. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. And as I said, they could easily be on a 6-game winning streak. Okay? Unlike last year, where the Chiefs won a bunch of close games, every one of the Chiefs' wins have been by double digits. Every one of them. So, Kansas City, if they're going to win this game, they basically got to blow out Buffalo, which isn't out of the realm of possibility if you really think about it, because the Bills definitely needed that win against Carolina to snap that losing streak they had when they were coming off their bye week. But Buffalo was also in a double-digit deficit against New England when they lost that game to them. The Bills battled back. Well, Josh Allen battled back because no one on Buffalo's receiving corps has been stepping up, and Josh Allen's been carrying the team for the last month or so. But yeah, they made it close against New England, but then they lose by 10 points in Atlanta. So really, Buffalo losing this game by 10 points or more is not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it'll happen because, like I said, Josh Allen is just a freak, and he's the reigning MVP. And this game right here is definite. I believe will decide who deserves MVP more between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. These are 2 former MVP quarterbacks going at it with each other. Mahomes has 2 MVPs. Josh Allen's coming off of his first one. So, the thing here is that Kansas City definitely does have the team that has the upper hand coming into this game. But, like, when you're facing a pissed-off Buffalo Bills team that had 2 bad weeks in a row, and now they're fully healthy, and then they just demolished the Carolina Panthers like that, I think that's the difference maker here. Buffalo's defense is definitely starting to play better, but like I said, they got a tall order going up against that Kansas City offense that's led by Mahomes and their targets that are fully healthy. But I don't see this being a shootout per se. I think it's going to be very typical between Chiefs-Bills as it has in the past. Kind of middle of the pack scoring, maybe like I would probably have the over-under be like maybe 40 to 45 points, something like that. Maybe like a 25 to 20 type of game. Yeah, man. The other factor here, whenever these two play in the playoffs, Mahomes always wins. The Chiefs always win. Mahomes is 4-0 against the Bills in the playoffs. But to me, this is kind of like the NFL version of Sidney Crosby against Alex Ovechkin, you know? Like, as you know, if you're a Pens fan like me, you know that whenever Sid and Ovi met up in the playoffs, the Pens always beat the Capitals in the playoffs, and Sid would always outperform Ovi in the playoffs. Regular season, though, up for grabs. It was always that way. It was always that way with those two, and it's been that way with these two in the NFL. You know, so it is a regular season game, so I don't think it's a lock for either teams. I definitely think it's up in the air because Josh Allen, all his wins against Patrick Mahomes have come in the regular season, and I think the Bills have beaten the Chiefs for the last 3 times in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe more than that, but I know it's definitely been at least 3. So it is in Buffalo, and I'm undecided of who to go with for this game. So for that matter, I'm going to go home team. I'm going to go ahead and take the Buffalo Bills to win this one over the Chiefs. Maybe a bold pick here because, like I said, the Chiefs are the hotter team coming in this game. But, yeah, it's in Buffalo. It's a hostile environment. Mahomes in the regular season typically struggles against the Bills in Buffalo in the regular season. But, yeah, man. If this was the playoffs, I'd definitely go Kansas City, but it's the regular season. It's up for grabs. I'm going to take the Bills to get it done over the Chiefs in a very tight one. I think Josh Allen, being the efficient playmaker that he is, and knowing the holes that Kansas City has defensively is going to matter because, like, you know, the Chiefs, they had a convincing win over Washington on Monday night, but got to know Washington was without Jaden Daniels. If Daniels played in that game, Washington probably could have given a better fight, but I am going to go ahead and take the Bills to win a very close game over the Chiefs. Sunday Night Football, check your local listings. We got the Seahawks and the Redskins in Washington. Seattle, they're also coming off their bye week, and they are playing very good football as well. They're 5-2 on the season, and they are right there in the swing of things in the NFC West. Seattle, they're a very balanced team. They got a great defense that's led by a great defensive-minded coach in Mike Macdonald, who should be Baltimore's defensive coordinator at the very least. So it's like, yeah, next time someone tells you that defensive-minded coaches can't win in this league, go and look at what Mike Macdonald is doing up in Seattle. Okay? Defensive-minded coaches are capable of winning in today's league. And Mike Macdonald's the biggest example. Okay? No one thought the Seahawks were going to do anything this year. Myself included. I wrote them off in March. Okay? But all they have been doing is just playing quality football. Sam Darnold is absolutely cooking. He is showing that he was never the problem with the Jets, okay? If he had that type of season that he had in Minnesota last year with Kevin O'Connell, and now he's doing it with Mike Macdonald, he was never the problem. JSN is such a great target for the Seahawks. He is developing so well. Guy is borderline unguardable. Like, I can't see anyone going one-on-one with him. He is such an amazing number one the Seahawks have. Then you got Charbonnet and Walker in the backfield. Like, this Seahawks team is so balanced. They are a very big dark horse in the NFC. As for Washington, their season getting away from them. 3-5 on the season. Again, the question is Jaden Daniels playing? He's been injured for some time now. Basically looking like another, I hate to say it because I like Jaden Daniels, but he's looking like RG3. You know, Washington should know all about that. And then, of course, you got Debo and Scary Terry that I think are banged up in this game as well. I don't know if they're going to be playing, but I really don't think it matters. I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this game, get to 6-2. I think their defense is more than capable of shutting down Washington in this game. Washington might make it a little bit close, but in the end, I'm just going to go with the team that has the hotter hand, and that's the Seahawks here. Wrapping up Week 9, we got Monday Night Football between the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. This one is down in Dallas. Want to take a guess? Yeah, Arizona had their bye week as well. 75% of the NFC West was on their bye week in Week 8. Yeah. But, yeah, Arizona's coming off their bye week. And the Cowboys are coming off of that blowout loss to the Broncos in Denver. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys to win this one. In terms of total yards, the Cowboys are number 1 in offense. And the Cardinals, they have an okay defense, but like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens playing with Dak Prescott, it's too much for Arizona to handle there. Arizona's also been decimated with injuries as well, more specifically with James Conner in their run game too. So, yeah, Dallas, I mean, their defense is absolute garbage as well. I mean, they're kind of like the Cowboys to me are kind of like what the Bengals thought they'd be, where they have a very good offense, but their defense is just hideous, you know. But it really doesn't matter. Arizona is just not a strong offensive team, and their defense is just going to have a lot of work to do with against the Cowboys offense that's definitely capable of lighting up a scoreboard. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Dallas Cowboys. I think to put their record at 4-4-1. I hate that stupid tie that they have in their record. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys to win this game. There you have it. Those are my Week 9 picks. Let's have a better week. And drop your picks down in the comments below, tourney members. And I will see you in the next one.